Funny.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a back compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the big zone deals store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Sea Salt, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Here's Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Doug Brown. The Tigers have the best record in baseball, and they're the first to have 40 wins. DH Kerry Carpenter hits 3 home runs against the White Sox in a 13-1 blowout. The last Tiger to hit 3 in a game was Victor Martinez 9 years ago. The Angels are the first visiting team to hit 3 home runs in the first inning at Fenway Park in Boston. One of those homers Monday night from Mike Trout, who's 8 for 14 since coming back from a bruised left knee. The Angels beat the Red Sox 7-6. After 4 straight Women's College World Series titles, Oklahoma is knocked out in the semifinals. Texas Tech with a Lauren Allred walk-off sac fly for a 3-2 win over the Sooners. The Red Raiders open the best-of-3 champ series against Texas tomorrow night. That's at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Tom Luganville here from my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Swung on Rocket. Left center field. Down and go to the wall. First. He's on his way to second. And he'll pull in. The first ever cycle in Trash Pandas history.
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to a Tuesday here on the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight on the board as we get into all the fun stories and also disappointing stories around the sports world. And of course, as always, show is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. today. They show up just like the rain here in the Tennessee Valley. It's held off for the last few days.
I was about to say, what did I miss?
But I
My
see.
son does have a baseball game tonight, so it should be raining.
No, it should be perfectly fine tonight, Joe.
Oh, okay,
Don't worry about that. Your baseball game is going to be it's going to be great. He might get the game ball.
He's had 32 games canceled due to rain.
Jeez. Well, I hope he's able to. That's like the whole season for kids his age.
Exactly.
How many games? What position does he play?
Center field.
Okay,
Yeah.
you told me about
Yeah,
that.
he's center field, which he's getting annoyed with it because he's like, nothing happens out there. And I was like, well, look, man, we got to work on your throwing.
Baseball's a game of patience.
They're first off, playing in the outfield and T-ball is one of the most boring positions on the face of the earth. So, like, I totally get it.
Not many pop-ups.
Not many pop-ups, not many anything that goes to you, like nothing. Okay, I get it. It's like, man, you got to work harder. If you can prove to them that you can throw it to first base like you're supposed to, they're not going to put you in the outfield. They're going to put you in the infield. So, like, over the last, 3 days, we've been doing nothing but working on his throwing.
There you
That's
go.
it. Yeah, no, look, I'm working on him, like, having a load and hitting and everything. Like, I do not want to be a coach for him, but I hate the fact that I'm enjoying coaching. I hate it because I don't want to be a coach of his teams. I'll be a coach of other kids.
Okay.
But
I was wondering. I was like, you just like gonna totally write off the coach story?
Look,
for
there
you?
was one practice back in the fall that I went in and all the coaches were out except for like one. And they're like, hey, Joe, can you come out here and help me? It's like, yeah, sure. No problem.
So what's stopping you from being a coach of your own son?
I am an a-hole.
You can barely say that on the radio.
I know.
Come on.
Talk about what goes into a box. No,
Look, I don't know how we follow up any of
Yeah.
what happened on
no,
Talk
that's the
Ball
thing.
today.
Is I'm tough. Like, that's my deal. Like, if you aren't going to try, I'm not going to sit there and waste my practice on you.
I got you.
If you're not going, if you want to learn, then heck yeah, man, we're going to keep doing this and I'll work with you.
Maybe you could be a spectacular teacher. Look, my other brother, Joe Abraham, up at ESPN Winchester, WCDT. Appreciate all of you guys listening as well. You're also invited to hop in on the conversations at 256-576-97.7. He coached a little bit of a football team for his son, and it seemed like it opened up something. It reopened up something for him, and he had so much fun with it. And he was sending pictures left and right. Now his kids are playing baseball, but him coaching for his kids, I mean, it opens up a different side of people, and maybe that would do the same for you. And maybe you realize that you're not as much of a
no.
You
See,
think
and
you are.
that's one thing. Like, you give me like kids that are in school ball, what was it, 7th, 8th grade, like that sort of thing. Oh man, I'm good there. Like, I'm good. Like, I can coach those kids, but it's just it's the whole like patience of like, okay, Timmy, it's okay. Come on now. Nope. You're throwing the ball to the infield. Yep, just like that.
You got to tell him like 17 times.
Stop staring at the butterfly. Stop staring at it. Nope. Focus.
No, don't put that in your mouth.
No, absolutely. And the thing is that the team that he's on this year is a really good team.
Oh.
And so like they're probably the one or two inside of their like league or whatever it is.
Gotcha.
So he's had to step his game up. I mean, there are kids on this team that literally like have like good hits that you go, oh, okay, no, that's a good hit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're learning after they may use the tee once or twice throughout a game, and this is T-ball because they throw to them first, and majority of the time the guys are actually hitting off of the pitcher.
Yeah.
We've got girls. God, I promise you, if there was a little girl that I could tell you that if my son marries her when he gets older, I'd be totally okay with this.
It's a long way to go.
It's a long way to go, but she's adorable. All right. And so her name is Winsley. Her mom and my wife have been friends for like 3 or 4 years since we moved back to Huntsville. And she is a darn good ball player.
Okay.
Like, it's just, I'm like, be like Winsley.
You could see her on a Texas Tech team
Like,
making $1 million in a few years, maybe.
I mean, maybe. No. I mean, look, girl can hit. She can absolutely, like, she bats leadoff. Like, it isn't one of those, hey, we're throwing her
on
at the
a
bottom
good
of the
team,
yeah,
too.
she's batting leadoff. Like, she's the one that they put in right field, not because she's bad, but because they're going to overthrow the first baseman.
Yeah.
And she can pick the ball up, and she can either outrun the runner from first to second so that she can tag him before he gets to second, or she can throw it from the outfield to third base. Like,
Look,
she's that good.
We told you we'd be talking about baseball today.
Like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, you're good. Absolutely. So it's caused my son to actually want to try just a little bit more.
That's good.
So yeah.
I do want to throw that question out to some of the dads out there, because I know there's always a time in your life where you kind of want to step into that role of coaching your child, or maybe even hopping onto a team and coaching the younger kids, and maybe even building your way up. So I extend that conversation to any of the dads that have a relatable story, or any of the moms that maybe did it on like a soccer team, for their little girl or little boy.
And it's rewarding. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
Like when he and I are in the backyard and I'm teaching him to throw, and he's constantly wanting to like throw across his body where the ball will go, like to the far right.
You gotta grab the apple and throw it across, like throw it over. Come on now.
So to see him go from that to me saying, all right, because we throw up against the brick wall on the side of the house, because we're throwing with tennis balls. And so, because I'm working on his motion, and he throws it, and he finally throws it straight. And I'm like, dude, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Stellar.
And then we turn around, and this is my problem, because I'm not just teaching him like how to hit. I'm also going, all right, man, let's work on that load. Like I'm like getting him to work on a load at 6 years old. I'm like, all right, so this is what you do. You like move this right here. This is your hips that you need to be moving. You don't move your shoulders, like this sort of thing. And he's like, no, this ain't going to work. And then we got these little wiffle balls, because obviously our yard's not that big. So if he really hits one, we don't want it to go over into the next road. We just, we want it to go up in the air and float. And I can tell him where it was supposed to be. And then he hits one, and it goes like out of our yard, across the little walkway that's behind our yard, into the neighbor's yard. And he's like, oh, did you see how hard I hit that? I went, dude, I'm going to let you know. If that had been a baseball, like that would have been over that guy's house. Ooh. So like he's going, wait, for real? I'm like, yes.
Kid's getting confidence in himself.
Starting to like understand it. And then we can start talking about loading and going, all right, you load this way. You don't move your shoulders. You don't move your arms. You're moving your waist, like all these things. And he's starting to progress in it. That's rewarding. I just feel like it's going to be one of those like, dang it, kid, we worked on this all afternoon.
Yeah, I don't know if you have that in you to where you can just, because I played for a team. It was Spring Hill, all right, the Sluggers, all right. It was my final season playing baseball, and I feel like every team I played on, there was a dad coaching his son, and the son was always leadoffer. He was like that special player. I'm also still very upset with him because I never got my trophy. I don't know if we won anything, but this was around the time when everybody was getting trophies. I never got my trophy.
Spring Hill years ago, wasn't
it? I was like 7, 8. I think it was
like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that thing. But I remember the coach coming in, and he picks up his son. I hope I don't like out him with this. Somebody's gonna go back to the 2007 Spring Hill Sluggers Little League team.
Years.
Pick him up and like put him up against the fence, and he was like, "You're not gonna talk about me." I was like, I don't know if I want to play this sport anymore. It was my last year I ever played.
Well, obviously you didn't want to play it.
No.
You're like, that's me. Like, I wouldn't bat him lead off, mainly because he hasn't got the idea of fully running yet. Like he kind of only gets it down into third gear.
He's more of an Austin Wells,
Well, no, he can run. It's just getting him to run. It's that sort of thing. Now he's starting to hit. I'd probably have him batting like 5th or 6th.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's too many really good kids on this team that can actually really hit a baseball. I'm like, I'm not batting him there.
Yeah.
No, I'm not batting him 2nd or 3rd. I'm batting 5th or 6th. He did bat cleanup last night or the other night.
Well, we continue on with the baseball talk as we get up to a little bit of a bigger level. Not jumping to the baseball in the MLB, but hopping into the College World Series, of course, because Joe, I'm absolutely disappointed right now. Okay,
over what?
All of the times that not only me, but the rest of the Southeast has said the SEC just means more. I feel like the baseball side of things hasn't really gotten the memo. Basketball kind of dropped the ball. I'll say that as well. And for all of the hype around football, to not have a national championship in the last 2 years, since that phrase has really become a thing, a mainstay for the SEC, I need to know, does the SEC, and I know this is sacrilege right here, how much more does the SEC truly mean? Because we might be seeing this competitive play against familiar opponents, but once you get out into the open world, similar to a gigantic lizard in some far away country, you're on your own, having to face off against the Wright States, the Little Rocks, the UTSAs, teams that you're a little bit more unfamiliar with, and you've only played maybe once or twice throughout the last 3 years. And you seem to not be able to get it done. So how much more does the SEC truly mean? The ACC's got more teams going to the Super Regional. I mean, heck, you look up to where Alabama and Vanderbilt was. You got Miami, you got Louisville. Bada bing, bada boom. 2 teams right there. In a conference that we make fun of all the time. Maybe not in the sport specifically, because baseball is a different animal altogether. They also got Florida State. They got Duke. Anywhere you look, Joe, there is an ACC squad. For the SEC, you get 13 teams in. How many you put through to the Supers? 4. And I know 4 is still a big number. But to have as many teams fall to opponents that I don't think anybody was really thinking would take down some of these SEC teams, I'm going to say it's a little disappointing. So I ask you now, Joe, since the regionals are over, what's the grade that you're giving the SEC here in the tournament so far? Just in the regional.
Just in the regional.
Just in the regional, because that's done. That's settled with. And maybe at the very end of this whole thing, I'll tell you again, and it'll be possibly like a similar story that we had in basketball where an SEC team eventually wins it all, but they just don't look good in the first few rounds.
I would give it a C-.
Okay.
Yeah, C-. Because I look, so out of the teams, let's be honest, didn't expect Oklahoma, nor Kentucky, nor Alabama to advance. Didn't expect Mississippi State to advance. So that is 4 of your 13 right there. So that means that there were 9 that you kind of had a thought of, okay, 9 of these teams could advance. Florida totally laid an egg. That was disappointing. Georgia, they just got outpitched. Like, I'm still not upset about them. Like, they played tremendous on the offensive side. They just didn't do well on the pitching side. So, because again, you score 32 runs, you should be able to win your regional. Vandy in Texas, that is an F upon F upon F. Like, not just one of those, was it 64 or whatever is an F? Is that what that is? Like in school now?
I think it was under like a 69.
Okay, no, 69 is a D. I thought like a D is like
68 then.
Okay, no, that's still a D.
Because a D is literally from a 68 to like a 70. That's what a D is. It's
okay.
A very small
It's
window.
not even one of the high Fs. Like, it's not like an F plus. Like, ooh, it's an F, but it's an F plus. No. That's like a 5.
Vandy in Texas.
Yeah, that's like a 5. Yeah. Okay, Georgia, not upset about. Ole Miss?
Come on. You made it to the final game to re-up and finish it. And they weren't able to.
I'm more impressed with that Ole Miss loss than I am with a lot of other teams' victories. You were down 12-3.
You still almost came back.
And you got it to 12-11.
Sheesh.
Like, I was watching it, and then I turned over to the Tennessee Wake Forest game because this was the first time that I started going, okay, I want to focus on specific games now.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept looking up in that scoreboard, and it was like, it's 12-3. It's 12-5. It's 12-7. It's 12-8. It's 12-11. I'm like, whoa. Are you serious? They've come all the way back. Like, they seriously almost pulled off a massive comeback. So I'm not that upset with them. So I'm looking at this and saying, really, the only disappointments come at the very front end. That's Vanderbilt and Texas.
But you lose to a team like Murray State that has never gone to a super regional.
I understand that.
How are you not disappointed by that? Especially whenever Ole Miss the day before straight up put 19 on them.
Because let's not act like Ole Miss wasn't a very injured team. We saw what happened in the SEC tournament. 2 outfielders colliding. That was nasty. Yeah. You had a first baseman last night for Ole Miss that could barely even walk, and he was trying to make plays for them. They're an injured team.
He just needs to throw it.
I mean, just go in and get you a shot. You'll be fine. You'll be good.
Catch the ball.
So I'm not that upset with Ole Miss because even though they were a great team, they had way too many injuries that they were having to deal with that were nagging injuries that played against them in that instance.
How much of this is excuses? That's the thing.
How much of it is baseball?
How much of it is baseball?
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
That's a good read.
It's Murray State. It's UTSA. It's these types of like, no, these that you shouldn't be losing to them. You also shouldn't have had to go to the final game of the regional against Little Rock. But going into the third inning, LSU was down 5-1.
But wouldn't you say 8 times out of 10, the better team's supposed to win? The more talented team? Or do you think out of all the college sports, do you think baseball is the closest in talent between one team to another?
See, here's the reason why I continue to say this is the hardest tournament in sports to win. Out of every tournament, I don't care what it is, this is the hardest tournament in sports to win. Not soccer, not baseball or basketball, not
I don't
football.
even know what soccer's tournament's all
I'm
about.
just saying, like, it's none of those, okay? Because here's the reason. If you say, oh, well, in the SEC, if we're playing college football, you're playing, if we play 3 times and it's a best of 3 series, then okay, we're going to win the first 2 and so be it. You're also winning the first 2 with the same players. You're not doing that in college baseball.
Yeah.
You get to game 7. Like, it was crazy that Tennessee let their Friday starter go out to finish this thing against Wake Forest, which was awesome to watch. But that stuff right there, it took something where he had to look at the coach and go, hey, I know I'm supposed to pitch in 4 days if we win this. But if we don't win this, I'm not pitching at all. So let me just go ahead and do this. So like things like that are so impressive to watch. But when you get to game 7 of your regional, which is what all of these were, you are literally going in there and you are trying to piece together a pitching staff. The factors are not the same. Nothing is the same when it comes to LSU pitching this guy against Murray State, pitching this guy. I'm more expecting a Murray State to go, you know what? Let's go with our ace again. I know you pitched on Friday. Let's go ahead and go with I'm looking at that sort of thing because they have nothing to lose. Little Rock had nothing to lose. They could throw everything at LSU. And if they lost, they were supposed to lose. There was a point LSU was coming back. It was 5-4. They had a deep ball down out into center field, and the center fielder for Little Rock basically ran through the wall to make the catch.
It was all or nothing.
It was. If he lets it go, LSU ties it up and or takes the lead. Now, eventually that did happen, but it didn't happen on that play because he didn't pull up and he went 100 miles per hour into a wall. Like, those are the types of things that your LSUs are having to deal with when you play your Little Rocks, when you're playing your Murray States, when you're playing your UTSAs. It's literally like, screw it. What do we have to lose? Let's do whatever it takes. If we got to squeeze bunt, let's squeeze bunt. If we're doing hit and runs, let's do that. If we got to do some crazy plays just so that we can try to throw them off, absolutely do it. 3-0 pitch, he's going to throw one right down the middle. Let's swing as hard as we can and see if we can put one out of the park. Every little thing matters. And it was 5-1. It took everything for LSU to come back. And then once they finally did come back, that's when they just started knocking the ball out of the ballpark.
And I think it is a very fun story to continue following, and that's exactly what we're going to do. As we hop into break, we look forward to the conversation with Dawson Eiserloh. He is from southwestern Louisiana, ESPN, and he's going to join us to talk a little bit of this LSU Tiger squad and how they were able to push forward and what they got to do next, because West Virginia, they're a capable team. They had to win in their region, and they did not lose a game. So I'm excited to talk that conversation here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
This is The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
John Abraham here from the Blitz. Look, I love a good party, so why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available, so don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's gonna fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Your Fox 54 weather, brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
A warm and muggy night across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures dropping into the mid and upper 60s. A mostly to partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. Once again, climbing into the mid and upper 80s. A rogue showers possible. Most of us are dry. A mostly to partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Tom Abraham Show, weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Every time I hear this song, Joe, I think of McLovin from Superbad. And then I also think of Crazy Times in Nashville. So
this song's actually from the Footloose remake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I think of, McLovin because fake ID. You ever have a fake ID before?
Dude, I had a beard at 12.
They still ask you for your ID even if you got a beard.
Not in New Hope, man.
Oh, okay.
No, not in New Hope. No, absolutely not. Again, when you have a beard at the age of 12, they really don't ask many questions.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, I had a beard as well. But I didn't live in New Hope. But I probably will be going to New Hope here soon enough. But regardless, we were talking a little bit of baseball. We started with the T-ball stories. Those are all courtesy of Joe Hunk over there. But I really wanted to get into some of this College World Series and college tournament and maybe even hop into some of the softball later on. But the biggest intrigue came from some of these smaller schools. Surprising some of these bigger schools. And one of the teams that you were following, Joe, just because of their story and how they got into the tournament in the first place, was this Little Rock squad. And let me tell you, they were gritty. They were giving it their all. They got a win against LSU, and hey, they could have gotten one more if LSU wasn't gritty themselves and pushed forward for the win just yesterday. And joining us to talk a little bit more about this is Dawson Eiserloh from ESPN-Southwest, Louisiana. Dawson, good to talk with you again, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, man, it's been a while. I'm doing well. Glad to be on. It was not the weekend I was expecting to see on the baseball diamond, but eventually we kind of got the result we thought was going to happen, just in a different way.
Yeah, and you were on location. You got to follow this LSU team throughout their regional, and tell me a little bit about what you saw from this team that you didn't see 100% throughout the regular season. Is it that next level? Is it that postseason shift that they made, or is it kind of taking a little bit more time to get into it?
Yeah, it was interesting because, when they got the draw, I think a lot of LSU fans were pretty happy, right? The a team like Little Rock, I always, everybody always points to the 2 seed. I always take a look at who your 4 seed is, and I think sometimes that can give you a little more trouble. Just ask Vanderbilt, about Wright State.
Yeah.
And they had the worst 4 seed in the field. I mean, they had the worst team in the field by almost every metric. You go by RPI, you go by record, obviously, you go by a bunch of the different advanced stats. Like, this Little Rock team wasn't very good. They lost 13 of 14 down the stretch. And then they also had a 3 seed who was towards the bottom of the 3 seeds in all the ranking systems. I thought Dallas Baptist was going to be, I thought this was going to be a 3-game series between LSU and DBU, with both teams handling the rest of their games. And LSU played fine, first 2 nights, like, they have a 1-2 punch in Anthony Ianson, Cade Anderson. Those guys were awesome. The offense did enough, and they cruised. I mean, they dominated. All of a sudden, Little Rock comes out of the loser's bracket, eliminates Rhode Island, eliminates Dallas Baptist, who just really had a bad weekend considering how good of a team they were for big stretches. And, I think LSU played really poorly on Sunday with an opportunity to clinch that regional. Look, did they maybe take a look at who their opponent was and not lock in all the way? I think that's certainly possible. And also, like you said, that Little Rock team they proved that they were different than the team that lost 13 of 14. And they did everything right. They were defensively so clean, too. So, look, in the end, LSU had to look in the mirror. And then when they're down 5-1 in the second inning of an elimination game, they really have to look in the mirror. But they did respond. They have, obviously, the talent to do it. And they get out of there and they kind of, not look back at it, but it was a much more challenging end to the weekend than a lot of us anticipated.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Joe?
Well, no, I was just curious about, it's about what, 8:30 last night, and it's going into the 3rd inning, and Little Rock scores 5 runs in the 2nd. I'm just curious about what the pucker factor was throughout the stadium. When you've literally just said this, like, come on, man, like, we're not going to lose to Little Rock again.
No doubt. And it's funny too, like, it wasn't as packed of a crowd as we had maybe on Saturday night. Of course, you just consider it's a Monday, things like that. But it was still, more fans in the building than most baseball teams will see at any game. And there was an uneasiness for sure. And, it's fun. Like, what I love about postseason baseball, it's a sport that's so relaxed and so, pitch to pitch, just kind of everybody hanging out, having a good time. But in the postseason, that's not how the fans act.
Nope.
The edge is in the building, and you could just hear the reactions to balls being called or strikes being called or a ball put in play was just different in that stretch. And then I heard that flip again, as they finally got on top and then extended the lead with a couple extra runs late in the 9th inning. You started to hear that kind of sense of comfort back in the building, but it was not there for a good 3-4 innings.
Yeah, no doubt. And you bring up those runs at the very end of that game. It came courtesy of Jared Jones as he was able to hit a 3-run home run and talk about, his leadership and what he's been able to do for the team all throughout. The clutch factor is what I look at when it comes down to the postseason. That and also the pitching rotation. But talk a little bit about Jared Jones and what he did in that moment for this team.
Yeah, and look, it's been a rough stretch for Jared Jones. He's been fighting it a little bit. He's one of those players who, when he gets on a heater, he can, hit 4 or 5 home runs in a week. He's done it before. They put him in the middle of this lineup. Now, interestingly enough, Jay Johnson actually made a little bit of a strategy call. He moved Jones, I should say, down in the order to the 7th spot last night. Just kind of shifted things around, and he ended up getting the payoff from it. But it's been a struggle for a guy who's been a leader at times all year long. And so to come up in that spot, it's funny too, when he hit it, he thought he got it, and then he started looking up and he went, wait a minute, maybe I didn't get it. He started hustling, and then it did just clear that left center field wall, but it was a rocket. And, I think that's really that when that ball landed over the fence, that's one of the first times, like I said, that the building really breathed. And you go, okay, now this lead is not 1 or 2, it's a 4-run lead, and we should be okay. That was a big moment for a guy who's been there. And look, as far as they're going to go, they're going to need some of those, this is not the same extremely high-powered home run hitting lineups that they've had in the past. So the guys that they do have, like Jared Jones, they're going to rely on.
Well, and now we're looking at the super regionals, and this thing went a lot longer than what you thought it was going to. This team played a couple more games than maybe they absolutely wanted to. Now, how do you feel going into the super regionals now with a team that obviously your arms are tired? You've had to use a lot more of your bullpen than you expected.
Yeah, and look, they caught a little bit of a break, courtesy of the NCAA. They're going to get one of those Saturday, Sunday, Monday supers, so they'll have an extra day, which probably is going to pay off in a big way. They actually went, look, I mean, think about it. They played a team in Little Rock who we didn't expect much from. Jay Johnson went back to his Friday night starter in Anthony Ianson to close that game out last night, and he had Cade Anderson, his co-ace, also in the bullpen ready if he needed him. So he went all hands on deck, and so now to get that extra day, you might see them flip Anthony Ianson with Cade Anderson just because Ianson threw an extra day. Now that they play on Saturday, I wouldn't even rule out Ianson throwing game one. So they're going to be okay. They're going to have some time to get back and get back ready to roll. But look, they got an interesting West Virginia team who went to a regional. Everybody was talking about Clemson, of course, as the host team. Clemson, really didn't show up in that regional. They lost 2 of their first 3 games, and it ended up being a wild, 13-12 comeback win for West Virginia over Kentucky, who LSU's pretty familiar with, of course. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting matchup. This is West Virginia team that for large stretches of the year looked like a host site, looked like one of the top 10, 12 teams in the country. Kind of tailed off at the end, and that's why they had to travel. But then they bounced back and they won the regional. So. Look, when Little Rock takes you to the brink, I don't think anybody's going to take this team for granted. But LSU feels like they're in a pretty good spot, especially given that was a big break for them to catch the Saturday through Monday schedule instead of having to come back on Friday.
Dawson Eiserloh from ESPN-Southwest Louisiana joining us to talk a little bit more about this LSU squad. And you touched on it, of course, West Virginia in their regional. They were able to beat Kentucky in their first matchup 4-3. Clemson they took care of. And then yet again against Kentucky, win by 1 run, but that score was a lot different, a lot higher pace. Is this the type of team? Because I haven't focused too much on West Virginia all season long, but you're probably eyeballing them a little bit more. What's the main concern that you worry about when it comes to West Virginia playing up against this LSU team?
Yeah, and it's interesting too. Like I remember that West Virginia team from last year that made a nice run. They had Derek Clark, one of their left-handed pitchers who was just like a rubber arm guy, just threw, as many innings as they needed him to throw. He was the ace, and they counted on him a lot. This year's team's been a little different than that. I think their rotation has been a little bit inconsistent. They have a guy in Griffin Kim who they're probably going to go to in the first game who's the best arms. But really, it's another line that can really hit. They've got they have, they're not a team that's going to just run out of the ballpark. It also is going to be a factor when you talk about Alec Box Stadium can play bigger depending on how the winds swirl, and it starts to change this time of year as we get to June. It wasn't really much of a factor this week. You had a few calm days. There was a rain delay on Friday. Everything was kind of looking bad, and then all of a sudden we got pretty calm weather the rest of the weekend. So we'll have to end up seeing if we get more of that. But look, it's interesting too. West Virginia runs a lot. They stole 108 bags team. So that's another thing that if you're going to try and cause some chaos on the bases, get on and move some guys over, that could cause some trouble. But with LSU having the 1-2 punch at the front is really what makes them go with Ianson and Anderson. As long as those guys show up, they're going to feel like they've got a really good chance to win those games.
How do you feel about the performance so far by the conference? Of course, you get 13 teams in. It's huge for the SEC. Everybody's talking up the whole it means more motive, but you only see 4 teams get past, and honestly, they didn't really do it in the most exciting way, and 2 of them have to face each other. How have you felt so far about the conference in this year's tournament?
Yeah, look, it was a down tournament, no doubt. And, look, I'm actually usually pushing against all the kind of favoritism that the SEC gets at times. And, not to say they weren't deserving of the bids this year. I think it was pretty clear. The only one I kind of had a gripe with was Kentucky. But,
all do.
The host site, the host site thing, they got a ton of host sites, and a lot of those hosts got bounced. It's the other thing, too. Last year, you had a lot of chalk. You had a lot of host teams winning throughout. You didn't have a whole lot of parity. And I think everybody sat there and went, NIL's changing things. Like, it's not going to be this wide open format anymore. It's just a reminder that 1 year is just never enough to decide anything. And so now this year you get a ton of 4 seeds that were making noise. A couple of them actually, Murray State ends up getting through. You get a bunch of hosts that are already gone and a bunch of SEC teams that are gone. I think it's the beauty of the baseball tournament. It's going to be open in some years, so I don't think it's some big statement that the SEC's falling off. But I do think, like last year when you had, 4 ACC, 4 SEC teams in Omaha, and I think the reaction was to be like, hey, this is the new normal. It wasn't quite the new normal. It was a one-year sample. So, look, a couple of them too, like no doubt with what Texas, Texas lost to UTSA and Vandy going down the right state a couple times. And everybody thought Florida had this great draw going to Coastal, and they got thumped by ECU a couple times. So, not a banner weekend for the league, no doubt.
Now, you were talking about the 4 SEC teams and ACC teams that can make it and that did make it to the College World Series last year. That can't happen this year because 2 of them are playing each other in the Super Regionals. And then you also have Auburn and LSU going on. Now, unbiased. Let's go straight unbiasedness on this. Of the 4 teams remaining, which one do you think has the best shot at win the national championship?
Yeah, that's a good question. The 2 I would go with would be Arkansas and LSU. I do feel like, look, Auburn was impressive, and they're a team that kind of has fallen under the radar a little bit, I guess because they've never quite gotten in that number 1 conversation, but they've just been hovering around as being the 3rd or 4th best team in the SEC all year long. I think what LSU has that's dangerous is the 1-2 punch in the rotation. And when you have Anthony Einstein and Cade Anderson, you're going to feel like you have a shot to win. So if you get through the Super, figuring that 2 of those 3 games are pitched by those guys, then you get yourself to Omaha where you can try and get a jump start in those first couple games. You feel good about it. But I also, feel like there's some questions about how LSU would fare past those first 2 games once the pitching depth gets a little depleted, and you can't just go back to Einstein after, the first 2. So I think Arkansas they were the most impressive team this weekend by far. But then again, they've got to play a Tennessee team that we know has this pedigree and has won a title, real recently here. So I would go with either Arkansas or LSU, but certainly Auburn's going to feel like they have something to say. They've got an interesting Super, though, with a Coastal team that's really, really good. And they're going to have to play really well this weekend to get to Omaha.
Really hot, too. I mean, 21 straight wins. Like, that's ridiculous.
No doubt.
I mean, again, they've won 21 games in the same time that Little Rock lost 13 of 14 and then won 8 straight.
Yeah.
All right, Dawson, before we get you out of here, I do want to flip it over to football real quick. I know a lot of hype has been around Garrett Nussmeier coming back yet again. He's got some decent backups behind him as well. But talk about how you feel about this roster going into the 2025-2026 season.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, there's some pressure that's built up a little bit on Brian Kelly. With LSU, that's just kind of how it's always going to be. You're not really allowed to go, a couple of years without achieving your goals and your expectations. And this team, they went out in the transfer portal and they loaded up. That's been the approach. It's kind of been an evolution. I think Brian Kelly, when he got to LSU, he started to kind of think about building it through the high school ranks and maybe supplementing. And then I think as he's gone on, he's gone, you know what? Maybe we do need to just go ahead and go all in on getting talent that's already proven and fitting it into our system. So you saw him go out and do that, depending on the service you're looking at, the number 1 or number 2 ranked transfer portal class. Defensively, they built that thing back up. After a couple of years ago, they were just completely, the year they had Jaden Daniels, they couldn't do anything defensively. That seems like it's in a much better spot. I don't have a ton of questions. Look, offensively, it's going to be about the offensive line. Can they kind of supplement and replace some of those guys like Will Campbell, first-round draft pick, Emory Jones, moved on to the NFL, Garrett Dellinger. And then do they have the playmakers to match it on the outside the way they have in the past? Now, history tells us that they're not going to have any problems replacing that production and that the next guy up is going to be able to do it. But that's really where I'm at. Look, talent-wise, on paper, he went out and he added the most possible talent he could have added in the portal. Does the portal talent work out? Do the guys fit in? Do they mesh well? That's what he's got to figure out. But he's got a quarterback that I think he feels really, really good about. And, Garrett Nussmeier is going to be in that, that early season Heisman conversation until he plays his way out of it. So they're feeling good. And look, I'll tell you, there's pressure on him to win and to win this year. So they're going to be feeling that throughout the season.
All right. Now, my last question for you, bro, is literally the total left turn of everything.
Talking croquet.
No, not talking croquet. I mean, it could be. Depends on how he answers this. Best show that you've ever seen in the Cajun Dome?
Man, that's a good one. And honestly, I'm a little limited in the number of shows I've seen there as far as like concerts and stuff. But I tell you what's fun is the monster trucks. I've been going to that since they moved back in the area. and that stuff's good. I honestly, I've done more concerts over in the New Orleans area just from where I grew up and stuff. But I probably need to see more than I have in the Cajun Dome. But hey, it's a good venue, man.
Yeah.
And Cajuns basketball, they're trying to bring things back. They got Quantas White as their new coach. They're hoping to make themselves a pretty good show next year.
I've spent some time in Lafayette and around Acadiana, so I was just curious as to what it was.
Fair for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Dawson, we appreciate your time, man. It's always great having you on. Let the people know where they can find your work on socials and online.
Yeah, so at Eiserloh Dawson on Twitter, it's a little tricky to spell, but if you play around with it enough, you can probably figure it out. And then we've got our show 1 to 3 p.m. On ESPN-Southwest Louisiana. ESPN-Southwest Louisiana.com is where you'll find my writing, man. I appreciate you for having me. This is fun.
Always great, man. I'll get you back in a year. I'm just kidding. We might
year?
get you in a little
Good
bit.
heavens.
I feel like it's always been a year, regardless. Dawson, always great, man.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thanks for doing this.
No, I'd get him on sooner than that. The football season is right around the corner, under 100 days. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, you can find him Eiserloh Dawson on Twitter, just his name backwards, and you get all the information you need to know about the LSU Tigers, Raging Cajuns. He talks a little bit of football, NFL football as well. The guy knows a lot of everything. So good stuff from him. But we got to hop into a break. When we get back, do the Steelers have a backup plan?
Sweet Jesus.
Do the Steelers have a backup plan, Joe? I mean, if it's not Aaron Rodgers, who's it going to be? Mason Rudolph? I mean, what are they going to do? Will Campbell, is he going to start right out the gates? I want to know. I genuinely want to know, Joe. Are they going to go out and get somebody? Kirk Cousins?
Please call.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Braves and Diamondbacks at Truist Park today. Spencer Strider on the mound for the Atlanta Braves, 0-3, a 4.50 ERA. He's $1.55 favorite. Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks, 3-7, a 5.54 ERA, plus 130 on the money line, 8.5 over the total. Auburn and Coastal Carolina will meet in the best of 3 Super Regional Series. The winner of the series moves on to Omaha, Nebraska. Auburn Tigers are the $1.45 series favorite. Coastal Carolina plus 115. The Chanticleers have won 21 consecutive games. They entered the matchup 51-11. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
On a mostly sunny sky this afternoon, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, making a solid run at 90 degrees, dropping into the mid 60s through the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. A mostly to partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon, and isolated showers going to be possible. Otherwise, once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And now a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
But that trick never worked.
But it's life I cannot change. It is. Keep up in the main. Sweet like candy cane.
Welcome back again to the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk. Getting out of hour number 1 for the band. Dawson Eiserloh joined us in the last segment. Down on the Bayou. Give us a little bit more information on that Little Rock LSU matchup that, Joe, you were just so infatuated about. That Little Rock team, gritty as all could be.
It's more about this kind of thing happens in college baseball. That's why you kind of root for it a little bit more, because it's more likely. Like, we talk about the Cinderellas in college basketball, but a lot of times Cinderellas are going to fizzle out through the second weekend. I mean, you can have a Cinderella in college baseball, make it to the College World Series, and if not, win it, the whole thing. Again, Coastal Carolina did it in 2016. So being a mid-major baseball team doesn't mean that you don't have an opportunity at winning the national championship, because it can happen. Your Long Beach States, you can look at all of those teams, your Fresno States and Cal Fullertons and all of those teams. Like, those guys, those are basically middle tier programs as a whole, and they can win a national championship.
Well, if you're in it for the Cinderella stories, the two teams to watch are Murray State and UTSA right now. I wouldn't say Coastal Carolina is a Cinderella team anymore. They've gotten to that level where it's more national notoriety. Now their basketball court is teal. Like, everybody kind of knows Coastal Carolina at this point. And they've gained a lot of this in the last 10 years. I mean, this is the same with James Madison, what they're doing on the football side of things in the last 3 years. So it's a team that's definitely built up. But for Murray State, first time being a part of their supers. And on top of that, ETSU or UTSA, I was actually looking at the wrong side of the bracket. Again, one of those teams that you do not see much this far into the season. So big on those squads for the Cinderella stories. I'm looking for some type of Cinderella story out in Pittsburgh, Joe. I truly am. I don't know exactly how it's going to come, but I think that it is going to turn into a train wreck. What the Steelers are trying to do when it comes to bringing in a guy like Aaron Rodgers. At this point, I don't even think the guy's thinking of returning to football. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
We haven't heard anything from Aaron Rodgers.
I'm totally okay with that. Yeah, let him go bye-bye. Like if you talk about stories in the NFL that are like a thorn in your side, it is anything Aaron Rodgers related. Like that man has become a cancer on the sport.
You make a good point. I mean, last year was the same story. He wasn't showing up to practice because he was at a retreat in the middle of a dark box.
Look, and I don't put anything into OTAs. I don't. Especially if you are a veteran player, like the OTAs are set to kind of basically just kind of get you in the right mindset. If you've been in the league for 5 or 6 years, like you understand this.
I'm looking at Myles Garrett. He goes to an anime award show with his Asian girlfriend, and I'm just like, this is awesome. He's living his life the way that he should. This is what he wants.
Dude, I don't care about them being at OTAs. I care them being at the mandatory minicamp. I care about them being ready for training camp. Nobody ever says week 1 of the season after a player plays well or doesn't play well, well, it's because of the OTAs.
Yeah,
like, it's because of the OTAs.
Yeah.
Again, has been as close to the Titans as I have. Will Levis was at every single OTA. Will Levis and Malik Willis was at every single one of them things.
What did it get him in the league?
It didn't benefit you.
No.
It doesn't. And again, not saying that Will Levis can't have a good year this year.
It got him on the field,
but
that's about it.
The OTAs are literally just 50% walkthroughs. Like you are learning everything that you need to so that when time comes for mandatory minicamp, that's when you're ready. And then you get ready for training camp. That's it. That is it. You're working on chemistry. That's it.
Well, if the Steelers don't go with Aaron Rodgers, they might actually go with somebody who has more chemistry with the Steelers in Mason Rudolph. I don't think he's a starter. I think he's a solid second string, third string quarterback. But the Steelers are really looking to go into the season right now with a not very confident backfield. With their quarterbacks, I believe they have who they got. They got Will Howard. All right. They got Mason Rudolph. I know they got one more guy on that team. Skylar Thompson, is he on that team?
Skylar Thompson, unfortunately, is on that team.
I'm looking at one guy that I would like to see actually play football for the Steelers, and that's Will Howard. Just because he's new.
Well, and with the way that the Steelers design their offense, a lot of times you are going to be worried more about the running game complementing the passing attack. And look, DK Metcalf with Robert Woods, the wide receiver group is not that strong.
Mediocre.
Like again, Gabe Davis, I think is supposed to be visiting Pittsburgh. That to me is way more important than Aaron Rodgers coming in. Like I know that Gabe Davis had a bad period of time in Jacksonville. There was a period of time when he was with Buffalo that he was arguably the best number 2 wide receiver in the NFL.
I agree.
But when he goes to Jacksonville, it didn't really work out. Don't know why it is. Could be scheme, could be coaching. There's a lot of factors that fall into this.
That whole team was wrong last year.
Well, yeah. And so and again, you also had a quarterback that was injured for a good portion of the season as well. So to me, it's more important about securing that. And you have Freiermuth and Freiermuth or whatever at tight end. He acts obviously as a wide receiver that's going to be able to help this offensive game. But from a skill set position wise, this team is not very sexy.
Look at the running back room, for instance. They had Najee Harris and Jalen Warren last year, which was a good 1-2 punch. Now they're going to be rocking with some rookies and Jalen Warren. And Caleb Johnson is their starting running back on the board right now. It's a little too early to tell. But the running back from Iowa.
You talk about the Iowa grad.
At one point, he looked like one of the best players in college football. I mean, that is something to be said. But again, this is NFL. It's going to be a lot different, and you don't have a guy like Najee Harris. Caleb Johnson, a little bit smaller of a running back, standing at 6 foot.
Look, I think that this is more about what the team drafts and what the team has been putting together on the field in total. Like this, yes, you brought in DK Metcalf, but who's going to help him out?
Roman Wilson?
That's my biggest question for this team is not at the quarterback position. It is the skill set positions. I have more questions about that than I do your quarterback.
And RJ White still thinks the Browns are going to lose the most games.
Oh, trust me, that's not the craziest thing I've seen the last 24 hours.
That's a freaking hot take if I've ever seen one. When you look at a roster like this and you have a lacking of quarterbacks compared to a Browns team
that has too many quarterbacks.
Yeah, no one cares about the Browns. So
I care about the Browns. They're everywhere. The fans are everywhere.
There's two people in this city that care about the Browns. They have the same last
That's
name.
false. Everybody meets either from Detroit or they're from Cleveland. Believe it. We got a second hour coming up next. We'll be back. The Blitz.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Braves and Diamondbacks at Truist Park today. Spencer Strider on the mound for the Atlanta Braves, 0-3, a 4.50 ERA. He's a $1.55 favorite. Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks, 3-7, a 5.54 ERA, plus 130 on the money line, 8.5 over the total. Auburn and Coastal Carolina will meet in the best of 3 Super Regional Series. The winner of the series moves on to Omaha, Nebraska. Auburn Tigers are the $1.45 series favorite. Coastal Carolina plus 115. The Chanticleers have won 21 consecutive games. They enter the matchup 51-11. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
A warm and muggy night across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures dropping into the mid and upper 60s. A mostly to partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. Once again, climbing into the mid and upper 80s. A rogue showers possible. Most of us are dry. A mostly to partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham with you on this Tuesday morning on the Blitz. You can also watch us on WZZN TV simply by going to Facebook, X, and or YouTube. Give us a follow and a subscribe there, and then hop into the chat. And always, we are brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up.
So I'm about to ask you a question because we're about to play a little bit of a game.
Oh, I thought the game started tomorrow.
No, it's a different type of game. Now, I mean, there are games today. Braves
softball.
play the Diamondbacks tonight, 6:15. You'll be able to hear that on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You also have the Trash Pandas down in Birmingham taking on the Barons. So that's going to be over on Talk Radio WZZN. So there's games going on like that, but not the type of games that happen because I'm going to quiz you.
All right.
Because just a little while ago, ESPN released the College Football Power Index for 2025.
Nice. I remember Tom doing this to me last year.
Well, you're about to, because there are some asinine things on here that I just kind of want to roll my eyes at. But if you do not know what the Football Power Index is, I'm going to read this verbatim from ESPN so that you see this is not our list. This is not 97.7's list. This is literally from ESPN. The Football Power Index ratings and projections for the 2025 season brings back the predictive rating system that estimates each FBS team's strengths in points per game relative to the national average on offense, defense, and special teams. It makes adjustments for starters lost, recruited talent, and other personnel changes. Then those numbers are plugged into the schedule, and everything is simulated 20,000 times to track each team's odds of winning the conference, making the playoffs, and winning the national championship.
I wonder where they got the number 20,000. Why didn't they get like 15,000 or 10,000 or just 100? You know, why'd they have to do it 20,000 times?
I don't know. Maybe that's the max in which the computer will do.
Huh. Well, maybe it equals out. Maybe something equals out at the end of that.
All right. So
much.
So I'm looking at the top 10. Just in the top 10, how many SEC teams do you think ESPN has in its FPI just in the top 10?
Oh, I'm going to say I'll go with 4.
Very close. It's 5. Tennessee is at 10.
Okay.
Texas A&M is at 8.
Wow.
They have Alabama at 3.
Nice.
Georgia at 2 and Texas at 1. Now, they also have like their projected win totals and all this other stuff. So how many projected wins do you believe that the FPI has put out for the Alabama Crimson Tide?
I'm going to say 11.
No, nobody is above 10.4.
Okay,
Texas is at 10.4.
Then I'll say that Alabama's at 9.8.
9.6, as a matter of fact. 9.6 is what they have. They have a 3.9% chance, according to ESPN, of winning all 12 games this year.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Yeah. Now they have a 17.2% chance of winning the conference championship.
All right. This is why they do it 20,000 times.
Now, here's what's funny about this. They have a 17.2% chance of winning the conference championship, according to ESPN, but they have a 20.2% chance of making the national championship game. So Alabama, according to the FPI, has a better chance of making the national championship game than winning the conference championship.
I can see that. It's happened before.
Well, it has.
It depends on the lineup of when you lose games late in the season and if you're able to rebound in time. Because it happened a few years back. They lose to LSU. They still go on to the BCS championship game, and then they win.
All right, so here's another quiz. Who is rated higher in the FPI? Is it Ole Miss or LSU?
Ooh, that's tough. I kind of put them both in the same category of good but not great, right in that tier of like an A-. I'm going to go with LSU.
LSU is at 12 and Ole Miss is at 13.
Wow.
Okay.
Good deal. I only look at that just because of the Garrett Nussmeier quarterback position's a little bit more solidified than what Ole Miss has got right now with 2-2.
So, I continue to ask this because there's so many interesting parts to this. Because we mentioned that we named the top 10. You said Ole Miss and LSU was at 13 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're looking at number 11 in the FPI. Is South Carolina, Oklahoma, Florida, or neither of those three teams at the number 11 spot?
I wouldn't put any of them there. I'll be real with you. And if I was going to put one of them, I wouldn't even want to put South Carolina there. I don't think that they're as good as everybody makes them out to be. What was the other team? I know Oklahoma.
South Carolina, Oklahoma, and Florida.
I'll say none of them unless Florida's there.
None of them are there.
Okay.
South Carolina is at 15. Oklahoma is at 16. And Florida is at 18.
Gotcha. So I was right, but also wrong because Florida's also like the one that's. Yeah, I thought DJ Lagway would get a little bit more love.
See, I thought that he would get a little bit more love as well.
Yeah.
And that's where I was curious about because Florida's win total, what they're projecting them at, is 6.5 wins. So they're basically saying that they're going to be a 6-16 in the FPI, which is crazy because of how much love Florida was getting at the very end of the football season.
And I think it's got to be. It's not the Lagway part of it. It's the rest of this roster and also the uncertainty around the head coach position. I think.
Oh yeah, we were ready to fire him just by walking on the field in the first week of the regular season.
Yeah, so definitely something to look into a little bit more. But who knows? I mean, DJ Lagway, he's coming off of an injury. We'll have to see how he performs. A lot of the times with the injury that he had, I believe it was an Achilles, it was a leg injury. It might have been the ACL. It's an injury that turns you into a totally different player, and rebounding from it is something that is going to be the biggest storyline I think we're going to be following as we get into the first few weeks because he's performing right now. He's throwing the football, but again, that compared to genuinely being on the field, running away from these 300-pound opponents, it's a different story.
So the projected win totals, you have the ability to obviously go through the different percentiles and organize it that way. I told you that Texas leads the country. They're tied with Ohio State with 10.4 wins, according to the FPI. Let's flip it on the other side. What team do you believe?
Akron.
In the SEC, that the FPI has winning the fewest amount of games this football season.
I think this is interesting. Last year, there's 3 teams I would have threw out there: Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, South Carolina.
Okay.
This year, South Carolina, know where they're at. I think there's a little bit more excitement around this Vanderbilt squad with the return of DJ Lagway or what's this freaking guy's name? I forgot it already. Diego Pavia.
Yes.
I'm going to say Mississippi State just because there's not a lot going down there in Starkville.
So it is Mississippi State.
And then Kentucky? Kentucky's got to be right next to them.
Mississippi State, they're projecting that Mississippi State's only going to win 4.4 games.
Kentucky's probably at 4.5.
They have Vandy at 4.8.
Okay.
And then right above Vandy is Kentucky at 5.6. Then Arkansas at 6.1.
Now, come on.
And Florida at 6.4.
Golly. I mean, even if Arkansas was able to get over that hump, it's such a tough league to get over that hump, because once you're back to being maybe a team that could get to the playoffs, you're behind 6 other teams. I mean, even Florida, if they go on a heater, they could be the next South Carolina this upcoming season.
Well, and I think a lot of it comes back to the players that are going to be coming back, because if you go back and you look through last year and the players and the quarterbacks that were at the top of the list for the SEC, a lot of them outside of Garrett Nussmeier are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Dart is gone. Beck is gone. Ewers is gone. Thorne is gone. Then you get to Talon Green at Arkansas. Then it's Jalen Milroe, gone. Brady Cook, gone. I mean, those are a lot of your quarterback play in the SEC is gone. I mean,
I think that's what makes this year so exciting. I mean, we know how important that quarterback position is within all of college football.
I mean, passing-wise, Diego Pavia was 12th in the SEC.
Look, he was more like a Tim Tebow. I'll say like a little flash in the pan. I'd like to see if Diego Pavia can keep it up, because he played for a New Mexico State team and he was able to beat Auburn. So, I mean, there's something to be said there. But again, would he be an NFL player? I don't think so. I don't really think he'd be a quarterback, at least.
You're talking about Diego Pavia?
Yeah. But I mean, he's got the hype in the college situation, but again, never really know until you see him consistently play against.
Well, and Brady Cook at one point in time was considered to be one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC.
Well, he had the guys to play with, though.
Well, he also had the injuries. He tried playing through the injuries a lot. There were a lot of things with this Missouri team that obviously people are going to give them credit for because they're Missouri. But I mean, right now you've got Nussmeier coming back. You have Green coming back. You have Lenora Sellers coming back. And those are your 3 or 4 best quarterbacks just in the top 10 of quarterback play last year.
Everybody's focused on Garrett Nussmeier. I'm going to say this. I'm the most excited to see Talon Green come back for Arkansas and the growth that he's going to have in year 3.
Well, you were on Talon Green last year.
I was. And I think that getting into SEC play is one thing. Having a year under your belt and now moving forward yet again. I know this isn't the same talented Arkansas team that they were last year. And last year, I feel like the things got off the rails pretty early. I mean, it was Oklahoma State that they got up very high on, and then Oklahoma State came back to beat them. And that was Oklahoma State. They were terrible within the Big 12. But Talon Green, he's got a year under his belt at Arkansas. He's got a year at Boise State under his belt. I mean, this kid is athletic. I think he's going to be good. But is he going to be able to carry this entire team? And is Sam Pittman going to continue being the coach of this football team? There's a lot of things that are kind of on the edge for Arkansas right now. I still believe in them, but it's going to take a lot to really show me. Florida's also just an intriguing team. But what was the squad that we brought up? Yeah, and Kentucky. I think Kentucky, the main reason why people are kind of excited for them is their quarterback position. Because 2 years ago, Ray Davis was the reason why this team was good. A lot of people love to look at the quarterbacks and think that these are the guys that are going to make these teams great. I don't really think that Will Howard made Ohio State great. I think he made them good, but I think it was the players around him that made him great. For Kentucky, Will Levis was an amazing player, but again, you had some talent around him.
So let me ask you, just off the top of your head.
Kentucky quarterback. Let's see.
No. That's what I'm about to ask you. Don't look it up. Right now, who do you think is being projected to be the starting quarterback for Kentucky in 2025?
Bro, I don't even know who's their second string. I'm trying to remember who they got. Didn't they bring somebody in off the offseason? Or was
they did.
Okay.
Uniquely enough, it is from a school that the number 1 quarterback in the NFL draft went to. Think about that. there's a connection.
This past year, or how many years ago?
Think about it. I'll give you a couple minutes because there's one team I also have not brought up with this FPI, and there's a reason for that. 256-576-977 as John ponders who the starting quarterback for Kentucky may be in 2025.
I know it's a big name. It's not like a question of who's going to be the quarterback.
We will continue on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WZZN TV, and The Blitz.
Maybe Jeff will tell me.
No.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
You can now do more without it costing you more. Alabama's attractions have come together to offer the all-in-one ticket that downloads to your mobile device. No matter how many attractions listed on the ticket you see during the time span you bought, your price stays the same. Pick the right ticket option that best fits your schedule, and then enjoy more attractions without spending more. All-in-one tickets for different areas of Alabama are available at alabama.travel and other places where online tickets are sold. Brought to you by Alabama Tourism Department, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, brother. Saw you call.
John, I've been thinking about our days during the war, and
I'm on my way.
Thanks, man.
If you are a veteran struggling with depression, anxiety, or need someone to talk to, call 800-273-8255. Press 1. It's private and free 24/7. Call 800-273-8255 or visit vetsforhope.com. Sponsored by the Partners of Alabama's Challenge and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states will work as before. See website for detail.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
On a mostly sunny sky this afternoon, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, making a solid run at 90 degrees, dropping into the mid 60s through the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. A mostly to partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon, and isolated showers going to be possible. Otherwise, once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party. So why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Skid steers, excavators, mini backhoes, you name it. But don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available. So don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th. I'll see you there.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's got love and we will smoke them all. And the sidewalk there,
Oh, look at that. I haven't heard anything from the Diddy trial since Prince. I haven't.
I don't know if that was real. Was that real?
Yes, that was real. The rest of it, I don't know, because now there's so many rumors flying around. I don't know what's real and what's not.
There's so much AI stuff that's popping up. Have you seen that new Google 3 AI whatever?
Yeah,
it is?
I've gotten emails like to try it out, to test it out, to see what it.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you dabble in AI. It takes over your email
because the AI is helping me big time with a lot of great stuff. If I ever have a question, I don't even go to Google. I just go to AI and I just ask the question.
Well, Google's sometimes wrong on their AI stuff. I've looked. There's many times I've looked up some sports questions, and I'm just like, something just a little bit off. Like it's talking about a certain quarterback that we were just leading with in the last segment. When you said that there was a quarterback for Kentucky that played at the same school as the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, the first thing obviously I'm going to think of is Miami. I was thinking, who was that one guy that was playing over there 2 years ago? He was rocking the number, I think it was 6. I forgot the kid's name. Well, it's not that guy.
No.
He didn't play at Miami, who you're talking about.
So what I asked earlier, because the FPI just dropped for ESPN, and it's extremely interesting. I think they used AI on some things because some of this stuff is dumb. But you start talking about Kentucky, and I said, John, I'm going to quiz you and ask, do you know right now who is the projected starting quarterback for the Kentucky Wildcats?
I know it now.
Now, I gave you 5 minutes to try to think about this. Who is it?
Well, his name slipped.
Are you kidding me? You literally were so confident.
Zach. Is it Zach?
Yeah, his name is Zach.
Zach Calzada.
Calzada.
He went to Incarnate Ward. And that's the team that I had to think of. I was like, oh, yeah, there was that one guy. He played for Incarnate Ward.
After leaving Auburn because he didn't play a single snap for the Auburn Tigers.
And then prior to that,
he played for Texas A&M.
He actually played for them.
Yeah, he actually did. He threw 19 total touchdowns for them. He threw 19 touchdowns in 2023 and 35 touchdowns in 2024 for Incarnate Word.
Which I got to admit, I talked pretty highly of him. I think it was a month ago whenever I was breaking down the projected quarterbacks for each of these teams. And obviously for Kentucky, they change quarterbacks like I change underwear every single day. I should have said something better, like every single week, every single year.
Stop it.
But for Zach Calzada, he really did grow in that last year with Incarnate Ward. Now, again, it's Incarnate Ward, but those are similar stats to what we saw from Cam Ward when he went to Incarnate Ward. Which, did they change? Was it just Incarnate before Ward?
I don't know the history of Incarnate
Ward. What if
Word?
Cam Ward got the additional Ward to Incarnate?
It's Incarnate Word.
Oh, Word. Okay.
Yeah, not Ward. It's Word.
Well, regardless, Zach Calzada saw a lot of growth, and now he's back in the SEC. And honestly, he might follow a little bit of that path that Cam Ward did. Now, do I think he's going to be a number 1 pick in the NFL draft? No, I don't, because Cam Ward was pretty good throughout all of his time with Washington State, all the way up until Miami. So, there's a few differences, but for Zach Calzada, yeah, I completely forgot that he was on this team. I'm gonna reroll with you.
Yeah. So the reason why I bring that up is because that is Kentucky, and Zach Calzada is going to be projected as their starting quarterback. There's one team I have not mentioned.
Oklahoma?
No.
You might have brought Oklahoma.
I brought up Oklahoma because I asked you about if they were that team sitting at the 11th spot of the rankings, because they are right now projected at number 16 in the FPI.
Ole Miss. No.
Ole Miss.
You brought up Ole Miss.
Yep, I brought up Ole Miss.
We talked about Mississippi State because they're the worst.
They're the worst. We talked Kentucky. We've talked Vanderbilt.
You think it would
Georgia,
make it
Alabama, Texas,
being put on the spot.
Tennessee. Mentioned LSU.
We did talk about Tennessee, didn't we?
South Carolina, we've talked about. We've talked about Oklahoma. We talked about Florida. You're really bad at this.
Well, I mean, now it's to the point where I'm just trying to remember what you said and what you didn't.
What we haven't gone with? So there are 3 teams that have not been mentioned so far.
Oh, there's 3 teams.
3 teams total. Missouri.
There you go. Well, you brought up Brady Cook. How am I supposed to separate what you were talking about there and what you were talking about over here?
Okay. Missouri.
Okay.
Arkansas.
We talked to Thalen Green.
And Auburn. Those are the 3 schools that we have not talked about where their FPI rankings are.
Okay. All right.
Out of those 3, who do you think is ranked the lowest?
Missouri.
Missouri they're at 23.
Still better than I thought they would be.
They're at 23, projected with 6.9 wins. So Arkansas and Auburn, who is ranked higher, Auburn or Arkansas in the FPI?
Auburn's ranked higher.
That is correct.
I see I'm really good at this 50-50 stuff.
Well, it's 50-50. Arkansas is projected to have 6.1 wins. They are in the 22 spot right in front of Missouri. Where would you like to guess that Auburn is ranked?
21.
21 is Kansas State.
Oh, then 20 for sure.
20 is SMU.
Wow. They're really believing in that wide receiver core. And Hugh Freeze.
You want to keep going?
18?
18 is actually where Florida is.
Did I jump over it? Did I skip the number?
19 is USC.
Okay, I didn't. So we're riding high on Auburn right now?
You're at 18 right now, and you still haven't gotten to Auburn.
16.
16 is Oklahoma.
Dang it, we already went over that one.
17 is Michigan.
Okay, let's go crazy here. 14. Did we do 14 already?
Auburn is at 14.
Wow.
In the FPI.
I mean, look, a lot of people are riding high on this wide receiver core that they got. And you're bringing in Jackson Arnold. It's a change of pace. I see why you would be skeptical. I see why you could be excited about it too. You're just not either of them.
Like Alabama, Auburn has a higher percentage of making it to the national championship game than they do of winning the SEC championship.
Well, when was the last time they went to the SEC championship? Was it against Mizzou back in 2014?
No, they went to the SEC championship in 17 because that's when they lost to Georgia.
Oh, well, yeah, there are those losses.
Yeah, that's when they lost to Georgia.
Okay. Yeah, they're not like an SEC championship team that goes almost every single year. There's 4 or 5 teams that would do that would fall into that category. And now Texas, of course, joins into it. But yeah, Auburn does it. They're never that team. They are a team that can be sneaky good, but they aren't a team that would win a championship in the SEC. It goes to Georgia, Texas, Alabama, or
the FPI has Auburn at a 2.5% chance of making the national championship game and a 1.8% chance of winning the conference championship. The crazy thing about it is according to the FPI rankings, they are at a 1.1% chance of winning the national championship. They have almost better odds of winning the national championship than they do of winning the SEC championship.
Joe, so you're telling them there's a chance?
No, I'm telling you that this AI smoking something.
Smoking AI ganja.
No, it's not even ganja. There's a spoon. There's a flame underneath.
Come on.
Like, I don't know what
the imagery on
this
that
AI program is smoking, but I'm telling you, they have Auburn at 14 in the country.
That's wild. Like, that is extremely wild. Like,
they have them with a 22% chance of making the college football playoff.
Joe, are you dogging on Auburn too much?
This is the most asinine thing that I've ever seen.
This AI is a little bit leaning towards what I am depicting this Auburn Tigers seem to be.
This AI is, I don't know what virus was given before they gave them Auburn. Like, if they just went like reverse alphabetical order on this, like, I don't know what they thought about. There's no way on earth that Auburn is even thinking about making the college football playoff.
Joe, the biggest concern that you have is the quarterback.
Absolutely. Auburn's court. Look, here's what's crazy. So Auburn right now, as far as the FPI is concerned, in making the college football playoff, they have them above Oklahoma, South Carolina, USC, Florida, BYU.
Hey, that's almost a playoff team right there.
Indiana.
That is
Washington.
It was.
Even Liberty, who was like, I don't know, they've only lost like 3 games over the course of the last 4 years.
They almost were a playoff team. Just replace Boise State. Probably
Louisville, Iowa, Utah, Colorado, Cincinnati, Wisconsin, Florida State.
Is Colorado still being held to like a higher standard than some other
Colorado's
teams?
right now in the FPI at 49.
Okay. It's not terrible, but I still think it's way better than what they should be. They don't have their best players. They lost 2 of them. And one of them was the best player in, I don't know, 2 decades maybe.
Right now there are 2 teams
most talented
that are above Auburn when it comes to making the college football playoff that are group of 5s. Auburn is at 21.8%. Who do you think is being projected to have a better opportunity at making the college football playoff from the G5 than Auburn?
Boise State.
They are at 25.2%.
Oh, wow. That was close. And was it UNLV?
No, UNLV is right below Auburn at 21.3%.
I love that. Huh. I would have guessed Liberty, honestly, but no, they're behind them.
No, they're behind because we've already mentioned it. Right now, Liberty's opportunity or percentage of making the college football playoff, according to this, is only 5.2% chance. They are being projected to win 8.7 games this year.
So there's one other team.
There's one more team.
And this doesn't include Washington State or Oregon.
No, this is just what we consider the G5.
I mean, a lot of people consider the Pac-2 to be G5.
Yes, I know that's what they consider them
G6,
to be.
Maybe.
I don't think they can afford a G6.
I don't know.
I will give you a hint.
Thank you. The hint will help.
It is a former SEC team.
Swanee.
Swanee is not on the list, mainly because they're D3, but they are not on the list.
Oh, jeez. I love when you do this because it's fun, but it's also just like I'm terrible.
It's causing you a little back sweat.
No,
you're starting to get a little anxious.
No, I don't sweat. I don't do any of that stuff on the
You're
show.
just like, oh crap!
My
I
brain
should know this, but I don't. I don't know what I'm doing. I
No,
don't know what
my
this.
brain just goes blank, and I just want to talk more NASCAR.
Okay, absolutely not.
Then your brain goes blank, huh?
Yeah. Then no, I just go to sleep.
It's only one team and group of 5 teams that are actually capable of making it to the playoffs. Not very many of them. James Madison.
Did James Madison, were they ever in the SEC, John?
No, they weren't. Appalachian State.
Was Appalachian State ever a member of the SEC?
Most people don't know that Swanee was a part of the SEC
Yes, they do.
either.
It's now a trivia question. It's a fun trivia question because they beat Alabama and Auburn.
They do that at Corlejos, by the way, if you guys want to check that out and maybe get some more zone deals on that. Go and check Zone at Deals, our big zone deals out over on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. What were you talking about again?
The G5.
Who is it, Joe?
That used to be a member of the SEC.
Who we talking about?
Tulane.
Oh, jeez.
Tulane.
Shout out.
24.3% chance. And the FPI is projecting that they are going to win 9.5 games this year.
If I remembered that the American Athletic Conference was a G5, if I just remembered that they are in the same boat as the Sun Belt, as the Conference USA, as the Pac-2, and Mountain West Conference, I would have thrown maybe a Memphis or a Tulane out there. Damn it. Shout out to Caleb Renshaw, by the way. Shout out to him.
Memphis, by the way, is at a 6.5% chance of making the college football playoff.
Pretty impressive. It's up to those 4 teams. It's up to a few to make it in. And honestly, it's Liberty, Memphis, Boise State, and Tulane, apparently. Apparently. I liked them a few years ago when they had, was it Spears? Who was that? Who was that running back on the Titans?
Yeah.
Spears. Tajay Spears?
Yeah, Tajay Spears.
I've been out of football season.
He doesn't have any ACLs.
Been out of football season too long.
He's lost both of his ACLs. He has none of them in his knees. True story. Yeah, so that is your football power index and how crazy and asinine that it absolutely is. Some things, okay, yeah, absolutely, I can give you that when it comes to projected win totals and all that. Now, projected win totals for Auburn, this is where it's kind of confusing because the FBI has been there before.
Open up.
The FPI has Auburn as the number 14 team in the country according to its rankings, but at the same time, it only has them winning 7.5 games.
Yeah, a little odd. I'll say
which is like 30th. That's behind Louisiana in the Raging Cajuns.
Well, it's saying that their ceiling is extremely high.
Oh, yeah, their ceiling is extremely high. If there's a seance in the Auburn locker room, they put Jackson Arnold down on the ground and they get like the body of some dead quarterback in heaven to come down and possess his body like it's that god-awful movie. What movie was that?
Hereditary?
No, it's not Hereditary. It's an old movie. Dick Tracy was in it.
Oh.
Yeah. No, he comes down he goes up to heaven playing quarterback and he comes back down as like a rich man. It's weird. But anyways.
Somebody will let us know.
Yeah, no, that's basically what it was. Maybe it's Heaven Can Wait. That may be the name of the movie. So that's the only way that they are going to make the college football playoff. And I promise you, if I am wrong, I will come on and I will apologize to everybody in the world.
I'm waiting for that moment. And here's the thing. I'm an Alabama fan. I'm not too crazy about dogging teams on this. I'll throw out a joke here or there.
I'll dog teams all day.
But I've given love to Tennessee, to Auburn. Now, outside of the show, it doesn't mean I'm going to want to talk about them, but I will say this. I want to see Auburn prove you wrong. I want to see Jackson Arnold have a good season and rejuvenate his career. And I also, I still want to see Hugh Freeze get fired. I'm going to be real with you, but
I would love that too.
I can only have one or the other. That's the thing.
Day one of the college football video game. When it comes out, that is the first thing I'm doing.
Isn't he? He's in the game.
He's in the game.
Mike Jones, he sent you.
Jones tweeted at me because Auburn made the announcement that he was going to be in the game. And I replied back with, you know what I'm doing, day one.
Damn it. You wish that there were dislikes on Twitter.
Day one, that is 1,000% what I'm doing.
But why do you guys hate him so much?
How may I count the ways?
You try and look back at the quarterbacks that he has tried to make better and put into the NFL. It's not a long list.
No, it is an extremely short list, and none of them have been successful at all. And yet we expect him to come out and be able to make Jackson Arnold one of the 3 best. No, look, I'll even say this. Do you think, when we come back, do you think Jackson Arnold will be one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the SEC in 2025? 256-576-4977. Do you think he'll be one of the top 5 quarterbacks? We'll continue on the Blitz as we wrap it up. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, WZZN TV here on this Tuesday. Where do we go? Just go play the music. There it is.
Woo!
This is the Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun, legendary food.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Final segment, best segments, brought to you by Bobcat of Huntsville.
Oh, no doubt. Got to go and see their location just a few days ago. And I will say this, Joe. If you're a man or a woman who works with heavy machinery and you're looking to get some new stuff, well, Bobcat of Huntsville's got it for you, whether it's a skid steer, whether it's a Mini X, Mini Backhoe. If you guys know what that's all about, they got it and more. Head on down to Bobcat of Huntsville off of Highway 20 next to the Redstone Harley-Davidson.
Yep, we're actually going to be out there June 27th from for our show from 9 to 11. They have an open house That's going to be going from 10 to 3 p.m.
You have any requests on like food or anything? Because we might have some say. I don't know. I don't think. I don't know if we do. They didn't say that we did, but we're going to be on location. We might as well try and persuade them a little bit with our voice.
And right now, though, you can get 0% financing for 48 months on those Bobcats that John was just talking about.
Dude, they got AC inside of them. And they got these nice chairs that you get. They bounce perfectly whenever you're hitting the bumps. They're so comfortable. It's ridiculous how much technology is going into these newer heavy equipments. Because I've gotten to see the older stuff compared to the newer stuff. Oh, it's a totally different world.
The movie is Heaven Can Wait with Warren Beatty. That was the name of the movie.
Well, Hugh Freeze can't wait any longer. All right.
No,
I don't think Billy Napier could either.
Says it is a Los Angeles Rams quarterback, which oddly enough is now back to the way that it was normally sounding, accidentally is taken away from his body by an over anxious angel before he was actually meant to die, and he returns to life in the body of a recently murdered millionaire.
Oh,
the movie came out in 1978.
I feel like I'm gonna have to watch this. This is an interesting premise. Why is it also say Heaven Can Wait?
Heaven Can Wait.
So there's 1943 version of it.
Oh, so that was a remake.
So you're talking about the remake.
Know that.
You young buck.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Didn't know that 1978 movie was a new release.
That's like being Tron Legacy came out in 2014.
I didn't know that Heaven Can Wait was a remake. What in heaven's sport were they playing back in the 1940s version?
Let's see what the 1940s version got to say.
Because football wasn't a thing, really.
Technical or supernatural comedy film produced screenplay Samson. Okay, I'm looking for any sports plot. Okay, an aged Henry Van Cleve enters the opulent reception area of where. Okay, I don't know where this is going.
What in heaven's name?
Something about attractive showgirls. Okay, so this is around, the World Wars. This is when the flip flappers became a thing, and then all the people, men were coming home from stuff. Okay, yeah, and I don't think this is the same storyline.
No, it actually is. I'm looking up. So here's what's crazy about this, and I'm going. So here we go. It goes is a playboy named Henry Van Cleve dies and arrives at the entrance to hell. A final destination he is sure he deserves after living a life of profligacy. I don't even know what that word means.
It's from the 1940s, Joe.
The devil, however, insists that Henry does not meet hell's standards.
Oh, he's not bad enough.
So convinced he is where he belongs, Henry recounts his entire life, both good and bad, including an act where he cheated during his 25-year marriage to his wife with the hope that the devil will let him into hell.
Why does he want to go to hell? Does he know it's down there? It's hot. It feels like yesterday in Huntsville.
How? That's nothing compared to what it's going to be in August. How on earth can you sit there and argue with the devil when he's like, yeah, you're really not that bad, man. Yeah, but I mean, I cheat. Dude, really? I've got 600 people down here that are like that did 10 times worse than what you did. No. Okay, hold on. No. I belong here in the fire.
I wouldn't fight it. Let's say, okay, change
the
the
man
plan.
is trying to send you to heaven, and you're arguing with him.
But there's no football involved in this one.
No, there's none.
Okay.
It is nowhere close to as cool of a story. And besides, who would sit and argue with the devil? No, man, you got this all wrong. I actually deserve to be here. You really don't know what the restrictions are to this place.
Well, if it was a battle with a fiddle, then I would argue with the devil.
Well, I mean, absolutely, because the devil would then be in Georgia, and he would have to go. And then when he came back to Georgia, because there is a sequel to that song, it's not as cool.
You're not listening to that one in Cracker Barrel.
No, you're definitely not listening to that one in Cracker Barrel. You're definitely not turning that one on. Hey, listen to this story right here. What's this one about, Daddy? This one's about the devil and how he got beat in the first American Idol. That's what this is. mean, that's basically America's Got Talent is basically what this was. Who's a better fiddle player? It's what it really was. So no, the first Heaven Can Wait sucked.
I haven't seen it.
It doesn't matter.
Your
You're arguing
grandparents
with the devil.
Your grandparents probably were like, it had a weird premise.
No,
If
you know what it was?
like
I
you'll probably
guarantee
go to
you.
hell.
I guarantee you right now, there were churches that were probably picketing against this movie. What do you mean this man wants to go to hell?
They pick it over everything. All right.
I mean, what do you mean? He's arguing with the devil that he wants to go there? What kind of premise would that be to our youth here in the 1940s who are about to go off to war? Let's not forget when this movie came out.
They were coming back.
1943.
They were coming back.
1943, they weren't coming back.
The war ended in 1943. Don't make me bring out my knowledge.
Please, can you tell me your knowledge? When did World War II begin?
In 1938.
When it's close, 1939. When did it end?
1944.
Close, 1945.
Oh, okay. So who's watching this?
See?
Who's watching this movie?
I mean,
that's why we didn't know of it. It was overlooked because we were not in the homes or in the movie theaters.
We'd already been at war for like a year and a half when this movie came out. Like, this isn't a feel-good movie. This comes out in 1943. Think about this. Pearl Harbor was bombed in 1941, which is what got us into the war. December 7th, 1941. So there's somebody in Hollywood's like, all right, we need a feel-good movie for the summer for all of our soldiers. How about, since we don't know what's going it's the war's going on right now, we're going to get like our type B crew over here because everybody else got drafted into the war.
Or was blacklisted because they're communists.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, we're going with our C and D actors on this, our C and D directors and producers on this film. We need a good movie. What if a guy had an argument with the devil? I think that's brilliant. How quickly can we get it going? I mean, I can have the script built. I mean, AI can do this for me. AI wouldn't even come up with with this script.
No, they would. No, the AI would. Yeah, I've seen the AI do some pretty impressive stuff before, and making a movie sound better than this one is definitely up there. Jackson Arnold, top 5 quarterback in the SEC, Joe.
Nowhere on earth.
I agree with you. I don't think he would. I think he'd probably be an 8 or a 9 within the NFL, within the SEC. I do want to know who you would think would be in the top 5, though. So, you want to try and do a little list before we get out of here, courtesy of Bobcat of Huntsville?
All right, so Garrett Nussmeier is going to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Taylon Green last year passed for 242 yards on average.
A lot of interceptions, though.
Did have a lot of interceptions. So if you take the interceptions away, that means his passing average could be better. Do you think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback?
I think he will be 5. I'm not going to ride on him so much to where he's a number 2 or number 3. I think he, yet again, will be a surprise for college football. I think he will be a number 5.
Okay, so then here's the 2 interesting names. DJ Lagway. Will he be one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the SEC?
I think he'll be 6. I think he'll be outside of it.
Okay.
Because coming back from an injury that he had, on top of that, I still am not 100% confident in Florida.
Lenore Sellers.
And I think that Lenore Sellers will also have a little bit of regression, but I'm not going to dog on him too much. I think he will be 4. I think South Carolina won't be as strong altogether.
Ty Simpson. Let's say that Ty Simpson's your starter. Or do you just want to say Alabama starting quarterback?
Ty Simpson will be 7. I don't think he'll make the top 5. I think he'll be serviceable, but I don't think this is the reason why this team's going to win some games. I think he'll be better than what we had in Jalen Milroe for crying out loud.
Top five would mean that he is not going to throw for 247 yards. If we go on last year's numbers.
A game?
On average.
Okay. He's going to throw more than what.
Will he throw more or less than 21 touchdowns?
More.
Which that is what Peyton Thorne threw to be the number 5 quarterback touchdown wise.
Wow. Okay. I think that we're going to see some good stuff out of Ty Simpson Do I want to ride on him so far? Not yet, but we'll let you guys know more of that tomorrow.
Tom Abraham coming up next.
What's well?
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiator